Today, let's paint a pastel landscape using soft pastels. Soft pastels. That's the tray that I'm using. It's from a company called Rembrandt, like the artist. And the technique is similar, I guess, to paint. And of course it's kind of like drawing, but it's kind of like painting. So it's always been kind of a debate about whether you call it a pastel drawing or a pastel painting. I prefer the word painting. I think I mentioned that in the video you're about to watch. But it is a beautiful, beautiful medium. And before you think that I'm claiming to be the ultimate person to teach pastel, I'm not. I've done lots of pastels in my life, but I don't think I've done a whole lot of landscapes with pastels. I've done a lot of portraits with pastels, and I've done a lot of well, that's basically it, portraits, people and animals. I've done a lot. That was kind of how I made my living between jobs when I was younger. But I love pastels. I just love them. The problem I have with them is they're a mess. And not only are they a mess, but once you paint a picture with a pastel, it can become a mess. And it can be ruined easily by somebody rubbing their finger across it, because basically it's just chalk. I think you know all that, so I don't mean to be talking down to anybody. I don't know who's watching, so it might be somebody brand new. So if you're not brand new, then forgive me for saying some of the things that are obvious to you. But I'm not trying to portray myself as a teacher in any way. I'm just painting and showing how I paint and the different mediums that I paint with. I paint with digital. I don't show that too often on here. But I'll tell you what, I just sold a digital painting on Fine Art America. So, you know, if it keeps the rent paid, I'm not going to complain. But I do like doing traditional art. Traditional meaning, you know, canvas with paint, or paper with paint, or paper with pastel, or paper with pencil, or charcoal, or even painting on wood or vinyl. Tile? I don't know. But anyway, let me show you how I did this one. The paper I'm using is this. It's an old pad of pastel paper made by the Strathmore Company. And it is pitted, so it does have a texture to it. And I do rub it in to try to smooth out some of that, not smooth out the texture, but smooth out the pastel on the texture. All right, let me show you how I did this landscape right now. Good morning. Today, we're going to use pastels, soft pastels. And they're from the Rembrandt Company. This is the box cover. And there's the name of the company that makes these pastels. And it's different than watercolor, it's different than oil, it's different than acrylic, it's different than all of it. Different approach, different ways of mixing colors, different ways of, oh my gosh, different ways of preparing yourself, I guess. And then of course you have to spray it. Otherwise, well, you don't have to spray it. Actually, some people don't spray it at all. But then you have to put it under glass, otherwise it'll smear. It's basically chalk. And now, because it's chalk, the question that some people ask is this paint? I mean, I know nobody asks is it paint, but is the finished product a painting, or is the finished product a drawing? Well, I say it's a painting. As far as I can feel, the way it feels to me is pretty much what I want to tell you. It feels like painting. So with that said, let's just get started. And I have two ways of doing it. I put the color on, and then I rub it in. Does that make sense? And I'm using pastel paper. It's from an old pad. You can see that pad right there. It's 11 by 14. So yeah, today I'm not doing a greeting card. Although this can be printed as a greeting card. And the way I do that is I don't do it myself. I use a website called Fine Art America, which is also called pixels.com. And that's how I do that. Now how I smear it, how I rub it out, I use some of these like little sponges. And with the sponges you can kind of rub it into the paper just to get that color deep in there. And the paper is pitted or textured, and sometimes you like that pitted texture look, so you don't have to do this. This is just my way of doing the first layer. And there's, as you can see, there's dust all over it, so I'm going to blow it off. Hold on a second. Okay, now it's a very, very, very light coat there. Let's use a little bit of kind of a pink color here. Get some of this lower end of the sky. In a way, I'm doing it similar to the way I do watercolor, in that I do the light first and then I'll do the dark on top of it. However, if I need to put dark or light on top of dark, I can still do that too, because I can spray it and then paint over the spray. And I'll show you that too. Alright, now let's get some background trees in here. Let's get some light colored green and probably some blue. And just get some background trees. That's a little bit too light. Let me get something maybe more like an olive green. Here we go. Some of that olive green. Keep that out so I don't forget about it. And now I'm going to look for some blue-green. What I love about this set of pastels is that there's so many colors to choose from. Let's see, is that a turquoise? Yeah, it's sort of a turquoise right there. Alright, now let me rub that in there. The two greens, I'll rub them together. Blend them in. There we go. There, we got a little bit of a hint there. I'll put a few little tiny little lines. There's an example right there of light on dark. Alright, now let's put some maybe some light orange or some of this color. See, I don't even know what these colors are, the proper name for some of these colors. I make a trail. For some reason I like walking trails. There's our walking trail. You just kind of sketch it in. And we'll rub some of that in there too. And you could use a blending stump. Some people like blending stumps. I like blending stumps too, especially for fine details. Here we go. It's like an S right there. All right, let's see what I have here. Ooh, that looks like a very dark green. I wonder if I could use that in the background. It almost looks like a gray, doesn't it? Let me do some of that. Just there we go. All the colors I'm using, I'm setting aside so that I can remember what I used instead of looking for them again. And the birds are talking outside. There we go. Keep some of that light. Let me get some yellow green if I can get some. Maybe just some yellow. And you can tell I'm using the side of the pastel. I kind of like doing that. There we go, I'll just put it all to the side. A little extra blue up here maybe. Get some of this darker green. It's a little bit too green, I think. I'll use a little bit of it. Get a darker green if I have such a thing. Let's see what this one looks like. That's a little bit too light also. Let's see. That looks like a darker green. Yeah, I think that'll work. Alright, let's get some of these trees in here, these upper trees. Some yellow mixed in there. This is where the paint feeling of pastels happens because you can mix the colors, get them lighter and darker. See it happening now. Let's get some of that background a little bit darker now. A little bit more depth in that background there. It's a little too light. Let me get something darker. Kind of a violet color right there, but it might work. You see my fingerprints all over everything. I'm not worried about it though. I'm not concerned with it. And these soft pastels are soft. They're not oil pastels, but they are powdery like chalk. And they're very soft. It's one of the reasons I like them. And you can even get them softer than this if you just buy the powder, you can buy the powder and actually brush it on, or even put it on with your fingers. You can finger paint, absolutely. And in fact, a lot of people finger paint with pastels. Once it's on, they'll just kind of do this, rub it with their fingers, and it works. You know, whatever works for you. I do that sometimes too. The thing of using your fingers is you get oil into it, and putting oil into the painting from your finger is actually, like, they advise against it, like the art schools and stuff, art teachers. But I think it actually helps a little bit if you do it enough. It's if you're gonna do it a lot, because then you get that oil look, and the oil is your finger. It's very cool. It's a very cool look. Some of these highlights on these trees here. And then do the same thing over here. Keep working it. Just like with regular paint, you just keep working it until you like it. There we go. Let's rub it in a little bit. Get the dust off. All right, we're getting there. We're getting closer. We get a really dark. What is this? This is a blue. It's not really what I want. What's this? This looks like a super dark green. That might be what I want. It's a very dark blue. You know what? That might look good back here. And then over here, Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spray it and affix everything to the paper. And this is the spray I'll be using, Grumbacher Workable Fixative, with a matte finish. But it's workable. The key word is workable. So I'm going to spray it away from the camera. Hold on. Okay, now we have to let it dry. So I'm going to turn off the camera and I'll be back after it dries. Okay, the spray has dried and you can see it's got a little bit of a sheen to it, but that's okay. But well, my fingers are dirty from before, but it's really not coming off now. That's good. So no longer can I smear it until I start putting more color on it, which I'll do right now. So let me get a light color here for the middle of this trail here. I'm going to kind of make the illusion of dappled light here. Just kind of add some light and then I'll add some dark later on. Just to get it started here. Yeah, we can add some of this to that green too. Might add some brightness to the trees. You see how that works nicely on the trees? Let me use some yellow for the trees. Oh yeah, that does good. That does really good. Very, very nice. I'm really liking how that's looking. And the good thing about using the spray, and there's more than one way to use spray, by the way. If you are interested in the spray, I don't have more than one right now to show you the difference, but there are a few really, really good pastel artists on Facebook. I mean, on YouTube, that's what I meant to say. And they really know their stuff with pastel. So I am not the best pastel teacher, and I am not professing to be. I don't even profess to be a great teacher at anything. I'm just having fun. I had a very critical message was sent to me one time, not too long ago actually. You know, it was saying that I was not that great and I'm claiming to be something. The first thing I'm going to tell you is I know I'm not that great. I don't know why people have to make you feel like you're doing something wrong somehow when you're really just trying to have fun and share your fun with everybody. I don't know. But if there's any point with bringing that up, it's don't let that stuff happen. It'll happen. Put it this way, it'll happen. But don't let it get you down. And I'm preaching to my own self when I say that, because I have a tendency to let comments like that ruin my day, and they do. But most of you guys have been so kind to me, and I'm just having fun. Grandpas like to have fun. How about that? Papas like to have fun. Yep. Yeah, so, you know, the world is weird. I don't know what happens to people that they decide to sometimes say something in a despondent way when nobody's doing anybody any harm, and that's enough. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. But anyway, you know what I'm saying, right? But anyway, my point is with the spray is, and with pastel lessons in general. Yes, there are some pastel artists online. I'm going to say Monet Cafe. I'm sorry, I don't remember the lady's name. And there's Karen McGuire, I think. Karen something. Oh, she's awesome. She's really good. So yeah, just look up pastel tutorials or something, and you'll find some really, really talented artists. And some of them do demonstrate the difference between one spray and another spray. And some of them are not even, like, they have no odor. Like this one has an odor, the one I'm using right now. Yes, and I know I should be doing it outdoors, not indoors. I know that. Okay. Let's put a little color on it. And color on the trail here. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see if I get this. It's not quite right. Let me get something a little bit darker, a little bit more on the brown side. There. That's pretty good. Let's see if I can get a dark gray or a dark green somewhere. That looks like a nice dark green, doesn't it? I got all my colors mixing together now. Alright, let me get something. I'm almost reluctant to use black, but I might end up using black if I have a black in here. Do I have a black? That looks like a black. Yeah, let me use a little bit of black. Just a little bit. And there is no Payne's Gray as far as I can tell in the pastel set. If this was paint, I would be going for the Payne's Gray, but the black seems to be what I need to use. Black can be very messy too, so you gotta work it and then spray it and get it fixed. Get it fixed. Sounds like I'm talking about a dog. A lot of this dark areas I'm using the black to accentuate the depth of everything. And then I will accentuate that with some light on top of it. And the only way I can do that is if I use fixative on it. Adding some tree trunks here. As long as I got the black here, I can start to do some of this. give it another coat of spray. Let me smear it a little bit. I have a blending stump right here. That's a blending stump. I'm going to use that a little bit for the trees here, just to push it around. If you think about what pastel is, it's just powder. It's very cool powder. The coolest powder. These first sketches of these trees have to be lightened up a lot, and I will do that. But right now, I just want to smear it a lot. We can even add some grass with this blending stump, a little bit, a little hint of grass. See, the black has a way of being a mess too. Just a little bit here and there. Now I'm going to spray it. Or so I think. Okay. Okay, let me spray it now and I'll be right back. Okay, now it's dry. And let's put some highlights on the edges of these trees here. This is what's good about when you put the fixative on. You can paint right over the dark. Put light on dark, very easy. Yeah, put a nice bright spot over here, I think. Right there. Right in the middle of everything where the sun is just coming through. Very bright spot where the sun is coming through. Let's put some bright yellow areas here on the grass where the sun is hitting it. Get some of that dark green, put it underneath those little yellow areas. There's some of that. Let's see. Let's see if I have a lighter color. Okay, I think we're almost done here. Just a few more areas, I think. I'm not really sure. Trying to make this dirt trail here look like a dirt trail. I can use a little bit of this green here. Alright, let's just get a little more of this bright. Okay, I guess it's done. I guess it looks like a landscape. Alright, well thank you for watching. And I will spray it now. You know what, I'm going to spray it and then I'll come back. Okay, it's sprayed. It's not completely dry, but I wanted to spray it first just to see if the spray was going to make a big difference in how it looked. And it made a little difference, but not too bad. The important thing is now I have it sprayed, so I don't have to worry too much about it smearing with the end user. And if you wanted to frame it, you could put it probably into a frame without worrying about putting glass over it. And so there we have it. There we have the pastel landscape for today. Well, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.